Hello, neighbors, and welcome to the Circle City Cast, a podcast written and produced by the Indianapolis Mayor's Office. I'm your host, Director of Community Outreach, Natalie Van Dongen, and every month I'll be giving you a behind-the-scenes look at your local government and connecting you to the resources we have here in Indy. So with that, let's get into this month's episode. Today on the pod, we have our guest, Alex Rollo, the administrator of the Mayor's Action Center. I am so excited for our conversation today. Thank you so much for joining us, Alex.
It's fun to do this with you.
I'm really excited. I think this is going to be a great time. But before we get into our conversation about the Mayor's Action Center, could you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and how did your career lead you to our great city?
Let me see if I can capture this in a succinct yet passionate way. I started in the classroom. We don't need to count how many years. And I loved it, and I still love it. I miss it. But what a lot of people might not know is adjunct professors are considered part-time employees. They don't have the stability. They don't know what's happening next semester. They don't have the insurance, all of it. So later on in my career, I said to myself, okay, I need more than this. And I went and I earned my MBA. And with that, I ended up in more corporate America spaces. While in the classroom, life was rewarding and it wasn't stable. In corporate America spaces, life was stable, but it wasn't rewarding. So I went out into volunteering, and I volunteer a lot. I'm in a lot of spaces around the entire state now. And thanks to my work in one of those spaces, I made some great relationships with city employees. And I established myself as somebody who could be relied on and who could lead. And I was offered the position of administrator of the Mayor's Action Center. And I will say it is the first time in my life that my professional space is both stable and rewarding. And for that, I am thankful every day.
Yeah, I really love to hear that. And we are so thankful to have you now for about 3 years, if I'm not mistaken. So in that time, I think it's safe to assume you've probably learned a lot about what the Mayor's Action Center, or the MAC as we call it, does or does not do. Could you explain the difference between the MAC, the state hotline 211, the IMPD non-emergency hotline 311, any other numbers that I might be forgetting?
Thank you for thinking to ask this question, because it is a point of confusion for a lot of the fantastic residents that call the MAC. Let me start with the MAC. You're going to call us when you need an action started, and that action is going to be executed by a city department. Example, Department of Public Works, Department of Business and Neighborhood Services, and Animal Care. Those are some common ones. You call us, we get the case in, and the action begins. Okay? What's important to know is don't worry too much about whether or not we're the right place or the wrong place. Call us. We're a great place to start, because if we can help you, we will. But if we can't, we're going to get you to whoever can. Okay, so that's Mayor's Action Center. The next one you listed, thanks for asking about it, is 211. 211 is statewide. And if anybody remembers it, the yellow pages. 211 is different from the MAC, not just because it's statewide, but because it doesn't actually initiate action. It is the place that you're going to go for the information on the resource that you need. They're going to provide you the phone number. They're going to provide you the web page, but they're not going to initiate any action. All right, so we've got Mayor's Action Center MAC, we've got 211, and then we've got IMPD non-emergency. IMPD non-emergency, when you are talking about something that isn't urgent, but it is safety related. All right, noise complaints, abandoned vehicles in the right of way, animal attacks, whether against an animal or against a person, those are going to go to IMPD non-emergency. So MAC, 211 IMPD non-emergency. And lastly, and this is something that Indiana should be really proud of having, we have the number called 311. No matter where you are in the state, if you dial 311 from your cell phone, and please keep in mind it only works from your cell phone. If you dial 311 from your cell phone, our statewide system will get you in touch with the nearest non-emergency line. So for example, let's say you're driving around Marion County and you are in a situation where you need a non-emergency line. Dial 311, boom, you get to IMPD's non-emergency line. Very easy, very direct. So between those resources, you have so many options, and each of them serves a distinct purpose.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for that breakdown, because I know that that can be a little confusing for our residents. And so just to kind of clarify, so when people are calling into the Mayor's Action Center, it's because they generally need something from the city, have a question for the city.
Yep.
Is it always going to be something the Mayor's Action Center can handle? Do you guys ever, send it over to, I know we're a city-county enterprise. Do you ever interact with our county agencies, or how
Absolutely.
can residents interact with you all that way?
Absolutely. And further down in the questions, I'm going to get into what you can do on Request Indy versus what you can do when you call us. But just know that when you call us, if it is an agency that the city is connected to, we're going to be able to get you in touch with that organization, either directly through a case or through providing the contact information.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. So now that we know what the Mayor's Action Center does, let's get into how Indianapolis and Marion County residents can utilize this great resource. You all have a staff of 12 customer service representatives that take...
Excuse me. 12 incredible customer service representatives.
Yes, of course.
We got to throw that in every time.
You are so right. You all have a staff of 12 incredible
There it is.
customer service representatives that take direct calls. But you also have an app, Request Indy, that residents can use to submit questions and concerns. So how would you advise residents when it comes to when you should call the Mayor's Action Center versus when you should report via Request Indy, or are there other tools that people should be aware of as well?
Great. Request Indy, not just an app, it's also a website. You can reach it on a desktop computer, you can reach it on your phone. And it's meant whether you're iPhone or Android, all of those things, there's something set up for it. The difference between what you can do on Request Indy and what you can do when you call us, here it goes. On Request Indy, whether on your phone or on your computer, you're going to create a case that is either going to be for Department of Public Works, Department of Business and Neighborhood Services, or Department of Animal Care, okay? The case is going to fall under one of those three agencies, and the case is going to move automatically to those three agencies. So the action is automatic, right? So this is requesting a new trash cart. This is reporting anything having to do with animal care, any zoning things. Check out, if you're comfortable working online, check out Request Indy, okay? But what's really awesome to know that a lot of people don't know is that the Mayor's Action Center serves so many more agencies than simply DPW, Department of Public Works, BNS, Department of Business and Neighborhood Services, and Department of Animal Care. There's about 450 agencies that the 12 incredible customer service reps that you'll get in touch with can help you connect with. And those examples, we're talking IMPD, we're, the police department. We're talking what I call OPHS, which is the Office of Public Health and Safety. You are able to get to so many more places if you call us. Now, my team right now would be yelling at me, don't tell them to call us if they don't have to. Okay, that's true. If you have the option and are comfortable working online, and the online services meet your need, use them. Please go there. It's quick. It's easy. Get familiar with it.
So you're referring to, Indy.gov, maps.indy.gov is one that I like to talk about. So many great tools on maps.indy.gov to find your elected officials, find out, what road closures are happening in your area, et cetera. So you're saying if folks have questions about the city-county enterprise, they can call the MAC or go to indy.gov.
You got it.
Awesome.
And again, just like in my previous answer, if you come across something that isn't making sense to you, that is confusing, or you feel like it's not the information you were looking for, don't hesitate to call us. We're there. But you always have options.
Awesome. So to break it down a little bit, because I know that this is something that comes up with our residents often, it's a question. So when folks call the Mayor's Action Center, what our incredible customer service representatives are doing is we're taking down the details of whatever the resident is calling about. So let's say it's a pothole. We're taking down the details of that pothole case, the address, whatever other pertinent information we need to be taken down, but we're taking that and we're sending it over to, in this case, the Department of Public Works or whatever the respective department is, so that they know that a resident has called in about this, the request has been submitted, and they're able to take that and, put in a work order, fill that pothole, and see to the resident's request. Is that an accurate breakdown?
Absolutely. And unfortunately, this is only our voices. What you don't see is me nodding over and over again. Yeah, Natalie, that's...
I can confirm there are nods happening.
Lots of nods.
Yeah.
What's great about the MAC is if you're running into frustration online, or if you just prefer to speak to a live, incredible CSR, go ahead and call us. One thing I would like to note there, if you do use Request Indy and you go online and you create the case, you're going to get a case number that starts with 2 digits of the year that you're making the case. So right now it's 26. And then you're going to get a dash, and then you're going to get a sequence of numbers that starts with 0 and continues. If you're going back to Request Indy to check the status of that case, please remember that dash, because you're not going to be able to find that case online without that dash. Okay, so that's one thing to keep in mind as you're going through, whether or not you're talking to a CSR or online. Keep that number, the 26 dash, and the sequence of numbers. But also, please keep this in mind. When you go to Request Indy and you check out the status of your case, it is possible that what you see frustrates you. I'm just going to be honest. The status might not be what you think the status should be.
So the status being open and closed.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
You might see closed on a case that you feel is still open. Or you might see no action on a case that you think should have moved along somewhere. Before drawing any conclusions, call us. Because I promise the 12 people who answer the phone, they're going to get you the answers you're looking for. And so before you choose the frustration, go to that second option, come to us, the 12, let us help you, because that is absolutely what we want to do.
Okay, that is really wonderful information. I do know that the case status is something that residents do ask about quite a bit, so I'm really glad we were able to clear that up. So I guess my follow-up question for you, I always joke that the Mayor's Action Center deals with everything, because residents can call in about everything, any question.
Do.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful resource for that reason.
Yep.
What do you think the most common cases the Mayor's Action Center gets are?
Oh, you can't see me laughing. Hopefully you can hear it. Potholes, people. Potholes, right? If you say the MAC, people say potholes. If you say the MAC, people say trash carts. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But here's what you might not know. In a year, we take roughly 200,000 cases.
Wow.
And Yes, a good number of those have to do with potholes and trash services, but it's definitely not all. What is incredible about the resource that is the Mayor's Action Center is you are connecting to an agency that can connect you. I know I mentioned before 450 agencies. You name the need, we're probably going to find a resource within the city that can serve you. And we're either going to directly connect you to it, or we're going to guide you how you can directly connect to it. Some examples of this that a lot of people don't know about: Office of Public Health and Safety. This is a huge one, right? We're talking about assisting with food services. We're talking about assisting with shelter. We're talking about assisting with tenant assistance. Those are things that you can call the MAC and explain your situation to us. I don't want to call it a problem because that gives it a negative connotation, but tell us your story. And we're going to help you move forward through that story, getting the help that you need. Another example, a lot of calls on tort claims. Please call us. We're going to connect you with what's called the Office of Corporation Counsel. This is for when you're talking about legal assistance. Call us. We'll help you out. We'll get connected there. And also, we have a very positive relationship with IMPD when it comes to case entry. If you have needs as far as wanting to report homeless camps or just discuss homelessness issues, call us. We're going to get that case in, and IMPD is going to connect with you. We are so much more than potholes and trash carts. If you need something, I got 12 incredible people that are going to help you find your solution.
I want to talk a little bit more about those 12 incredible people, because
everything
you just laid out, that's so much information that anyone can call in at any time and ask for any of these resources. So I want to know more about our 12 incredible customer service representatives. So prior to this recording, you asked the team what all they want residents to know. And could you share some of their words with us?
Yeah. And I the team is grateful for having an opportunity to be included in this. You know, there was the possibility that we get some CSR on the mic. CSR, incredible customer service rep. But it just doesn't work. The I is silent. That was good.
Thank you.
So incredible CSR. They can't come to the mic in person, so here I am representing them, and I'm going to try and do it justice, because when I say that they deserve a lot of woot, I can't overstate that. All right. So I asked them, I said, what do you guys want to make sure I say to the team? What I love is when I posed that question to the team, they were so fast to answer, so passionate. And I got answers from all 12. So I'm gonna give you a summary of what they offered me. Side note, we are open in person 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So if the phone is an issue, if online is an issue, or you just want to come in and meet us in person, you're welcome to do that. We smile, we've got an open door, and we'd love to see you. So whatever works for you. I just interrupted myself. Let me go back to what Natalie asked as far as what do the CSR want me to be telling you, the fine audience. So we're going to start with, they really wanted to make it clear that the culture driving the MAC, and these are their words, is one of education and kind resilience. I can't capture through a microphone how grateful I am to lead the team that I lead. The hearts and minds of the customer service reps, and I should also mention, I haven't done so before this moment and I feel terrible. We have two managers who I could not do this job without. So when I say 12, I should be saying 14. 14 people are embodying education and kind resilience in everything they do for residents. They have the knowledge, like I mentioned, of 450 agencies, and they're bringing that education to any resident that calls. They're going to bring it through kindness. They're going to bring it through commitment. They are the residents' liaison to the city. What they are interested in making me voice here is that they live here too. Okay? A lot of times we hear those stories about call centers that are remote, call centers that are disconnected from the problem. The MAC team lives in Marion County. When you report a problem to the Mayor's Action Center, it's a problem that the Mayor's Action Center team also encounters. So you're helping not only your life, but ours. That's what a lot of people don't understand. We are absolutely appreciative of every case you report. You call a pothole, we want to know about it because we might have driven over the same one. You call about trash issues if something was missed? Yes, please do it because we're dealing with those same concerns as residents of the same space that you live in. When you call us, know that we are on the same team. And last, but not least, please be patient with our hold times, especially on Mondays. It's our busiest day. We're a small team putting in multiple cases, and we are doing the best we can for you. Thank you in advance for coming to us through those eyes. It means a lot.
I also want to highlight, I think we just had a pretty big milestone that one of our incredible customer service representatives hit. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
She's going to hate this. I'm not going to name her because that might be going a little too overboard. But yes, one of our customer service reps has worked for the city for more than 32 years.
Wow.
And she's been in the MAC. I should know the exact number, but I want to say more than 20 years of that is in the MAC.
Wow.
That is the kind of heart and commitment that you're going to find in our team members. We had a lot of tears celebrating her last week because we are a team and we appreciate each other and we hold each other up. So Natalie, I really... I think it's really special that you thought to call that out. She is noteworthy, as is the rest of the team, for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Well, I'm so appreciative of her, and I'm also so appreciative of all 15 members of the Mayor's Action Center, and that includes you, Alex. The work that you all do is incredible, and you do so much on behalf of our residents, and I could never, ever thank you enough for that. So in addition to our customer service reps in the Mayor's Action Center, who else can residents reach out to about city questions and concerns? Maybe take a little bit of the hold time away from the Mayor's Action Center, put it somewhere else. Who should they reach out to?
You know, the flow of this interview is it's splendid. You just complimented the MAC. Now I'm going to return the favor.
Oh.
Yeah, here comes. Mayor's Neighborhood Advocates, who Natalie is also over. So she's over the Mayor's Action Center, and she's over the Mayor's Neighborhood Advocates. I've been sitting here boasting with a smile on my face from ear to ear about the Mayor's Action Center. I want to also boast about Mayor's Neighborhood Advocates. An incredible resource. This city is divided into 10 areas. Each of those neighborhoods has a person dedicated to connecting with you, the residents, in person. They're attending your neighborhood meetings. They're answering your phone calls. They're connecting with you to make sure you feel represented in this city-county building. So yes, you've got the MAC and you've got the code, the MNA, okay? Be very comfortable in both of those spaces, reaching out to both of those spaces, because I can tell you both of those teams want to solve your problems. Another resource that you might not be aware of, we don't advertise it enough. It's called the Indianapolis Center for Conflict Resolution. And I stutter on it because we just refer to it as ICCR. but I
We
should
have
be...
a lot of acronyms.
We have a lot of acronyms.
Yeah.
But I should be able to say it clearly because they deserve that clarity. Indianapolis Center for Conflict Resolution. This is a free resource. Free! Let me say that one more time. The MAC is free, M&A are free, and here we have another one, ICCR, free. You can call them, and they will act without cost as a mediator. So let's say you want to work through an issue with your neighbor. ICCR would be a perfect resource for you to reach out to. You're going to get a real person when you dial the number, and you're going to get a real person to help move you through that difficult situation. Incredible resource. I'll say it one more time, ICCR. So MAC, M&A, ICCR. Enjoy your acronyms.
That is an incredible resource. Thank you so much for sharing more information about the MAC, our M&A team, which I appreciate the shout out. They are wonderful, as are our CSRs, and the Conflict Resolution Center. So lastly, before we go, Alex, we want to close out our interviews on the Circle City Cast with a fun personal note about our city. So today we want to hear from you about one thing that you think brings people together in Indianapolis.
Again, you can't see the smile on my face. I wish you could. I love living in Indianapolis. And it's a very simple reason. I don't have to go far to find someone who cares. It's not a coincidence that the MAC staff and the M&A staff are as incredible as they are. They're Marion County residents. Marion County residents care. It's very easy to get comfortable in a space around here. If I were to trip, I know somebody would help me up. If I walk down the street looking distressed, people aren't just gonna stroll past me and ignore me. They're interested in acknowledging that I'm part of their community and making sure that I'm okay. That's something that gets me out of bed in the morning. To know that I'm going to be surrounded by a neighborhood, a city, a community that is incredibly interested in holding one another up. That's what makes Indy special. And I am thankful for it.
Well, I am thankful for you. That was a beautiful sentiment. I absolutely agree. We are a community that holds the door open for one another, and I think we should be really proud of that. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat today. This has been a wonderful conversation, and I hope everyone listening has learned something today about the Mayor's Action Center that they didn't know previously. Thanks, Alex.
Oh, you're welcome. And on behalf of the entire MAC team, to be able to give this information out there and yeah, toot our horn feels very good, feels very special. So thank you for that.
That's all the time we have for this installment of the Circle City Cast. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to join us next month. In the meantime, you can keep in touch with the city by following us on Instagram, Facebook, and X at City of Indianapolis. Until next month, this is your host, Natalie Van Dongen, signing off. Have a great day, Indy.